Why not? Good afternoon, Keller Williams, New England. Here we are on another Monday growth call. Thank you so much for being here. We are excited for today, aren't we, Brooke?
We are always excited. And it's funny, you and I must have had the same wavelength when we woke up this morning, because your shirt says love and mine is the big heart around culture. I woke up feeling to love on our agents today.
Well, I just have a lot of love because it was my birthday yesterday, and I had so many people just reach out to me and, wow, does your birthday really fill your love cup or what? Because it really did. It was great. So here we are, and we have a lovely guest on with us today, and I want to jump right over to her because it's a great story, and I want you guys to take your notepad, paper, your digital pad, whatever it is that you have, take your notepad out today because you're going to get some really great nuggets. And Brooke, why don't we introduce our guests?
Yes. So Dakota Riley with Depend on Dakota. I'm adding everybody's spotlight. There we go. So now you can see the three of us. Welcome. Thank you for coming on to the growth call with us today.
No, I appreciate you having me. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So Dakota, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are, where you started.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best way is I'd love to kind of tell where I'm at now in the past couple years of major growth, just so that I can bring you back to where I was and know that absolutely anything is possible. I mean, my real growth started back in 2018. I had just my mom as my full-time assistant, and we did 88 deals and 33 million, just the two of us. So a friend of mine that I actually got my license with came back and was like, you know what, you should really kind of start growing something here. This isn't sustainable for like one person, you know? So we decided, let's start building the team idea, you know, brought in a TC, you know, just got the resources and then brought on some agents and kind of been working on it because it is a transition to go from someone who's only done real estate to be a team leader. So it's been kind of a, you know, a work in progress for me, but you know, in 2020, when the pandemic hit, you know, we just went all blinders deep and, you know, pen down, pencil moving. We just blurred everything out and just focused on real estate. We were able to do 115 transactions for 46 million. And then last year, just moving full steam ahead, we did 140 at 60 million. So we're really working to kind of build this here. But what I wanted to share is I got my license in 2007. Pretty much the second they put the license in my hand, it was like, breaking news, the market has crashed, you know, and it was like, now what do we do, you know? So, and the only reason I got my license was to help my buddy secure a mortgage because she was doing flips because the market had been good. But again, that market crashed and ended. So I actually had a job, but I was really fascinated after going through the course and everything for, you know, for what real estate had to offer. So I decided to kind of quit my job and jump in and do it full time. And, you know, again, this was back when if you told somebody you were doing real estate and you were holding a Dunkin' Donuts cup, they'd like drop some change into it. You know, they thought you, I mean, it was such a different world back then. And slowly but surely I was, again, spending a lot and just not, the closings just weren't there. And I basically kind of, you know, a sale here, a sale there. And I basically got down to my last like $1,000 on my bank account and my mortgage was coming due, or actually a couple hundred. And I did have a closing, but my broker at the time was going away on a fishing trip. And he said he could pay me when he got back, which would have been after my mortgage was due. And I was down to nothing. And I begged and pleaded, but he said, no, he wasn't going to pay me till after. So I remember at this point, I mean, I was living off of dented cans of green beans because they were only like 33 cents. And, you know, Smirnoff was the cheapest vodka you could have. So that was basically my diet as I was starting out in real estate. But I'll never forget having just sitting in that galley kitchen, just crying my eyes out because I had nothing left and the mortgage was due. And I remember getting enough liquid courage to call my mom and ask her to borrow, you know, the $1,000. And sure enough, you know, she was crying that I had that I was upset about it. And she did. And I paid the mortgage and I've actually never looked back. And so I tell that story for two reasons. One, because you never fail if you keep getting up. You know, and I've been beaten down. As long as you, and at the time, I think I was reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which if you haven't, I'm sure we all have, but we all know that book. And that was the perfect time for me to read it then. I'm sure if I read it now, it would come off as a completely different book. But what I really think changed everything for me is mindset is everything in this business, because after I hit rock bottom, I had some good years. I was doing some business, but then again, you hit that next glass ceiling. And so I was kind of in a funk, and there's just something off with the mindset. And I remember that KW had sent a Tony Robbins coach. And so I was in like my own funk. So I said, you know what? I signed up for this UPW, where, you walk on fire, you basically take all your limiting beliefs and crush them. And so I went there, and what I did with the limiting belief was I made it the fact that, I was selling maybe 20 homes, 25, and I just could tell myself, I'll never be a mega agent. I don't know if I thought that they lived with unicorns or what it was, but so for whatever reason, I just didn't think I could be one. So when I went to the Tony Robbins, it was all about mindset and shifting everything and going from scarcity to abundance and getting over the fear. And I basically took that limiting belief and I crushed it. I left it on the ground out there in that stadium. I said, no. And I came back and I said, you know what? I'm going to sell 50 homes this year. This was 2016. So what I did was I hung up, because it's very visual, guys. And there's so many visual examples I can give you too, but we hung up 50 green blank houses. And then every time we'd have a closing, we'd put a little sold sticker on it. And then me and my mom would jump up and down, you high 10, and then you hug. And it all kind of goes into your central nervous system that, you are going to do 50. So I basically got to the last day of December that year, and I had the 4 closings, which was 47, 48, 49, and 50. And of course, there was one where it was a younger client, and she left the place a mess. And when they ever called me and said, Dakota, we can't close, and I'm like, oh, heck no, I am not doing this to do 49 houses. We ended up doing a holdback, figuring it out, and we ended up getting exactly 50. But that was when I had the mindset shift that, why not me? Why can't I sell 50? You know what I mean? Why can't I do that? And that the scarcity to the abundance comes into play so many times, I think, in this field. Again, people that are trying to save their way to $1 million. Like, I see people all the time trying to save a couple $100 to do their own postcards, while I'm in the other room cranking off making $25,000 commissions because I got somebody else doing my postcards. Another scarcity abundance thing that really helped me with my mindset trick. I remember seeing somebody up on stage, and I know that it's like a lot of us where everybody picks up the phone and you're looking for that $10,000 commission right on that call, right? And then when you don't and you get the meanie, you hang up and then you just don't even want to touch the phone. So it was kind of brought up to me one time where, how many phone calls does it take to get to the appointment? How many appointments does it take to get the listing? On and on until they get that commission check. It's a lot of phone calls, right? So I just don't do an exact math. So let's say this. So every time I make a phone call, I make $11.21. Eventually that $10,000 check is going to fall out, right? So boom. So somebody calls and they're as mean as they can be, slam the phone down. I just made $11.21. And all I had to do was get hung up. And if you have that mindset, that completely, because we don't go towards pleasure, we go away from pain. That's how we're all wired. So once I used that trick, it completely changed the way I was just, you stop taking it personal after a while. But that was the biggest thing, was to start making the calls, doing the activities. And I'll give you a couple quick visual examples that I use. So I already told you about the houses. So do that. I don't know if you guys know The Secret. That's what Tony Robbins is all about. So there's a check that you can print out from the universe to yourself. And the first year I did it, I basically put a very large number on there, and I ended up coming within $3,000 of it that year, because you just keep it posted in front of you in your office. So the next year I was going to do a huge number, and then that stupid little bit of limiting mindset got into me. It just caught me. So I wrote the check for the number a little bit lower, hung it up. I was having an awesome year. About September comes around, and there was this 1 week where it was the weirdest thing. Everything was falling apart. Everything that I touched fell apart. Weren't getting offers accepted, all this stuff. So I looked, and I was only about $2,500 from the check. So I was at the gym the next morning, and I'm racking my brain, and I'm like, oh my God, I wrote the check too low. That's why everything's starting to derail. So I went back, I ripped it up. I wrote the check for the number I should have wrote it for. No lie, I had my phone on my desk. As I'm taking my thumb off of the new check, I pull it away, my phone rings. It's one of the agents from one of the offers we didn't get accepted. Their buyers backed out, and he wanted to know if we still wanted it. And all of a sudden, everything started moving full-fledged ahead after I put the number that I should have believed in. And kind of going back on my limiting belief.
Wow, is what I have to say about everything that you're already delivering for us today, Dakota. Can I just go back to a couple of things, because there are so many powerful things, and I just want to reiterate them to make sure that you guys heard it and are writing down what I'm writing down, because this is, I truly believe in what you say, the visualization, the manifesting, the positivity. You said scarcity through abundance, right? That was something that really helped you through what you were going through. Did you guys pick that one up too? Brooke, did you write that one down?
Oh, yes.
The visualization of not only the check, but the houses. How many of you guys are doing that out there right now? How many of you are visualizing how many families, houses, whatever you want to call that you want to help this year to get to where you want to go? I just love that. And then the question that I wrote down was, what are you visualizing? And that's to everybody on this call. What are you visualizing? What are you looking at every single day to help you get to where you want to go? So Dakota, I think, there was another thing that I thought of when you were talking, and the $11, when somebody says no to you. There's a book called Go for No. I don't know if you've read this.
Yes.
Have you read it?
Yep. It's a great
Yeah,
one.
that's exactly what you're talking about, right? So Go for No is all about that, like getting over that personal issue that we have ourselves of somebody letting us down, and go for that no. So I suggest that too. Brooke, what did you get from this so far?
So it's back to basics, right? And we've done this in the MREA book club, but knowing how much you make per hour was the big one for me. So when you're picking up the phone, you're not saying, I didn't make any money, I just made $11.25 an hour. And one of the things I talk about often is we only celebrate our end results as agents, and we forget to celebrate those in-betweenies. We won't look at a full pipeline and congratulate ourselves for getting people to appointment stage or into a process. We're so fixated on the closing that as high production, high stress workers here in this world, we forget to celebrate the in-betweenies. And so every day you're celebrating doing what you're supposed to do by having that mindset of, I just made X, Y, and Z. And I think that's so important to help our agents through the mindset too, is you're not going to see a physical payout on every activity immediately. And that's what we need to celebrate all the things that happen in between and the small goals to get to the larger goal of putting that house up on the board and hugging your mom.
Right. And
yeah, I love that. The leverage one, Dakota, was also another piece that I thought was hands down. Like, I hope everybody wrote that one down. You're paying somebody to go do your postcards for you, while others are spending that time doing it for themselves. When how much could they be doing if they weren't doing that? That would actually help them get business. So I love that. What else do you want to add to your story?
Well, the one thing I just want to kind of, and I tell the story now that you know the story. And again, I didn't know this at the time, but remember how I told you I was at rock bottom. So what happens is, and this is what we all do, and we talked about the manifestation, when you're newer in the business, or if you're not doing well or whatever, I was doing this. I was watching the money going out of my bank account, and I was watching myself not have business, right? So what was I doing? I was putting out in the universe that because what you focus on expands. So I was focusing on my dwindling bank account. So guess what I kept doing? Spiraling lower and lower and lower. So I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but I learned it. I didn't know it at the time, but once I studied the brain and did the whole Tony thing, what happened that night when I had that thing and I had to pick up the phone and ask my mother, what's the first thing that happened, guys? I was focusing on that closing, because that closing was going to pay me to give my money. So I wasn't worried about what I didn't have anymore. I was focused on the next prize. And guess what happens? You get another listing. You get another listing. Now everything starts going forward because the universe is happening for us, not to us. I remember the first time I had 3 things fall apart one time in a week, and I was just out of my mind. And I literally out loud, I said, you know what, Dakota, if you don't want to have 3 things fall apart, then don't have 3 things together. Just keep throwing the balls in the air.
Wow. So
what does your daily routine look like, Dakota, to make sure that this happens, to visualize where you're going and keep going?
So, I mean, and this is, again, doing the team thing now. So I'm still kind of in this transition, because I'm I'm in the office. I do a lot of like Breakfast with Champion things on Clubhouse, just positive stuff in the morning, education, motivation. And then, I'm usually in the office trying to start up calls by about like 8:30 or so. I try to keep most of my appointments in the afternoon. And if I don't have something, I'll just keep making the calls. We're having a lot of success with, I do long-term expireds, not the ones that just expire. Circle dialing, if you have something under agreement and it hasn't closed yet, and you're the one that tells them kind of how many offers were on there or whatever. People love to know that stuff. Now they're going out in the neighborhood and they're dropping your name. I always say my goal is I want my name coming out of somebody's lips about real estate at all times, everywhere. So the more seeds you can plant and conversations you can have.
I love that. I love that. So what are some podcasts, or what are you listening to or reading that you could share with our group that is helping you continue to grow your business and your team?
Well, what changed my life again was if you guys are on Clubhouse, it's called Breakfast with Champions. I don't even know how I ended up in there. Glenn Lundy has run this page. It is it's these millionaires and billionaires who, I mean, you ask any victim their story and they'll tell you, but these are all victors, and they all have worse stories than the victims. And that's what's so fascinating about it. And they'll come on and there's life coaches and there's just successful real estate people, automotive people, and they just tell them their stories. And it's just constant, like that Tony Robbins, that positive mindset stuff. So you just have you're just vibrating on the same wavelength of all the positive people, you know, so you get to come out of there feeling so energized. So yeah, it's Breakfast with Champions on Clubhouse.
Breakfast with Champions on Clubhouse. And I believe you have to get an invite to be on Clubhouse for those of you who don't have it. You could always get an invite from any one of us here, or your peers. So make sure you let us know if you don't know what Clubhouse is, or if you need an invite on it. We're happy to help you with that. So that's a great one. Anything else that you want? Any other book or podcast?
I mean, there's, John Maxwell has some great leadership books for those of you that are looking to get into, if you are starting a team, because again, that is a huge transition from if you're just a full-time agent and then needing to know that you got to start doing some mentoring and things like that too, which is very, it's just, and then the accountability to other people, but yeah, I think again, the Think and Grow Rich, that I did a lot with John Maxwell, the leadership books. All his laws and principles are fascinating.
Awesome. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. They are. So, all right, Dakota, any final like nugget you want to drop to everybody before we move on to our content that we deliver every week?
I would say again, just show up. And again, a real quick story. I always tell these guys, look, there's the least amount of inventory we've ever seen in Massachusetts. I wake up, I think that's like shooting fish in a barrel. I would say when a listing is signed up, it's kind of like a little marriage, right? They're kind of off the market right now. There's 2,200 homes for sale in the entire state of Massachusetts. I say, if you can't get a date in that kind of singles pool, you got to go there and just dig. Don't sit back and wait for everybody else's lead generation to find your buyers a home. Like, go find it. Just talk to people. I guarantee you, I don't want to sign in every yard because that means I can't go do it. So I like it up there where now I can go find it and I'm in control. Again, do you want to own a shoe store, or do you want to run around with somebody showing them a pair of shoes in 50 different stores?
Wow. Love that. Love it. All right. Thank you. Stay on with us, Dakota, because we're gonna give you some really great stuff that you could use in your business as well. We got some social media stuff. My brain just stopped for a minute because I'm still soaking in everything that you just talked to us about. So thank you. Cassie, will you roll our lovely footage of Toolkit surprise this week? All right, here is our Toolkit surprise, Brooke.
I love this one. So I'm all about the home maintenance tips because, I love these so much. A lot of these things can be whether you rent or own that need to be done, and you're usually the one who has to do them. It's also a great way to bring your vendors in on this and start tagging other people. So April home maintenance tips, hot off the press. Be sure to catch up on your monthly home maintenance tasks to keep your home and property in tip-top shape. So love that.
By the way, just if this is your first time on this call, how easy is this to post this on their social media, Brooke? What do they have to do? Like, what do they have to do?
Copy paste, right click, copy paste. It's
copy and paste.
Yes, it's copy paste. You look at it, tells you what to do to here. I'm moving my mouse like you can see it. It says click here to download the graphic. Right click, copy, Control C, Command C, Control V, Command V.
All right. I just want to make sure, just in case somebody hasn't been on this call before and doesn't know how to do it, Cassie is actually showing you exactly how to download it, copy and paste.
Yep.
Cassie, look at you. Thank you so much.
Good.
It was that easy, by the way.
I was gonna say, it's even easier when you're on your phone doing it too. So even if you're on your phone, even easier.
Yep.
Yeah, because you could just hold it down and copy it and then paste. Oh, so easy.
So easy. And guys, you know what, we give this to you, go ahead and jump on command and you can pre-schedule them to go out. Like all you're doing is copying and pasting them into command at that point, and you're done for the rest of the week. And you've got your social media out there and command's doing all the heavy lifting for you. And you don't have to remember to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, it's that easy to use what we're giving you. So please use our content that we're providing for you. Another shout out to Erica Aruda for providing all of this lovely content. Thank you, Erica. All right, so let's keep going.
So this one.
Oh, did we already do this one? Oh,
No.
I did not.
This one is got a home sale in your future. This one I love because it's a slider, right? It's not asking people, are you ready to buy, sell, invest, refer? This one's fast. And there's a smart plan to match everybody where you are. So maybe sometime next year, that's a long-term nurture. Soonish, but where do I start? Guys, that's a phone call. And I'm ready. Let's do this, guys. Knock, knock. How are you? Here's your paper.
I like the 30 seconds after they put, I'm ready, let's do this.
I just happen to be in the neighborhood.
All right, we do see your questions in the chat. We will get to all of them. And Ryan, high five to you. I would give you a huge hug if you were next to me. Take the 7 minutes after this call and do it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Thank you for saying that. All right, where's the next one? This or that Thursday.
This is hard for me. This is, I know I have to pick one, but you know what? At the end of the day, everything ends up iced because it sits.
This is the remnants of my iced coffee. So yes, I am an iced too. During the winter, all of it, it's iced coffee. How many of you are iced and how many of you are hot? Let's see it in the chat. It says the New England Java debate is on. Are you in preference of iced coffee all the time, or do you crave a hot cup of Joe on most occasions? So this is just to get look at this. See how, look at.
No, Mike
doesn't even like coffee.
You're right. That wasn't the assignment.
It's okay. Do you know how many people drink coffee? It's crazy how many people drink coffee in this world.
I do. I drink it all day.
And some people, and a lot of people don't, by the way. So
yeah,
start that debate too. Be like, hey, what's your favorite tea then? Tell me more, right?
Yep. And this is great because people also are very hot on where they get their Java. Like they are, if they're Starbucks, they are Starbucks and no Dunkins, or they're the local place, right?
Well, that's where you could add on to that. Well, are you Starbucks or are you Dunkin', right? Or are you local? Love it. So let me go back to, because this is all our content. Remember, it's as easy as copy and paste. I'm going to go scroll up and look for some questions we have here. Clubhouse. I'm getting a request for Clubhouse and I'm going to send them to you. Absolutely. Brooke, can you give us a quick rundown of what Clubhouse is?
Sure. Clubhouse is basically it's like a live podcasts all at once, and you can jump into any rooms. You can raise your hand and they can pull you on to speak, but basically it's live podcasting is how I like to describe it. I'm in a couple Clubhouse rooms that are KW specific. I'm in some that are women in leadership specific, and you can just listen, or you can also wave your hand and participate. Dakota, did you have something to add?
I did. I also want to add, I actually started, a buddy of mine, Trish Pierce, another agent, every Thursday at 5, we do Keeping It Real in Real Estate. We have a blast. A couple times it's gone like a couple hours. And then we also have that on Facebook page, Keeping It Real in Real Estate. So you can catch all the replays and stuff. So it's been fun on that platform. So that's another good room if you guys are interested, check it out. We'd love to have you.
And what I like about it is you can plug in and listen in the car. Like that's why I love it. So if you're done with audiobooks or podcasts right now and you're a little burnt out from it, it's live, like it's there and you can just snag it. I've been a guest on things accidentally and I'm like, hi, I asked a question and all of a sudden they pull you right through. So I enjoy it.
All right, Brooke, we have a couple other questions I absolutely want to make sure we get to.
Sure.
Randy says, where do I get these graphics? Well, let me tell you, we send them to you everywhere, including the chat here, including on our Facebook group page, which Cassie put in the link as well, including YouTube, including anywhere. Oh, by the way, the email that gets sent out to everybody, it's in there as well. So we get it to you in multiple different ways, including right there in the chat, Randy. So make sure you snag that right away. And then I do have a request, Brooke, to repeat how you do this in command, meaning how do you put the posts in command and schedule them?
Yes. And we don't have enough time to do a full demo, but you go to campaigns social post, and then you schedule it. So instead of clicking publish now, you have a choice to schedule it for the date and time you want it to go out.
Brooke, do you think that's a quick how-to video we could put together and include in
We
our
can,
resources
and
each week?
We can, and we've done it a few times on the Tech Thursdays. We can do it again, but also reach out to your Market Center tech trainers. This is the stuff we love to help you with and sit and do one-on-one with you if you need quick help. We will do another Thursday tech session on this, but yeah, it's you go to campaigns, start a new social post, put the information there and schedule it from there.
All right, so we're getting close to the end of our call, and we have a couple of things that we want to mention before we do our giveaway. So Dakota, what we do every call, we give something away. So another reason why to invite your friends on here is because we give some cool stuff away. Today we're giving away, I'll wait to tell you, but it's really cool. So first, anybody read this book before or know of this book on this call? Put your hand up. All of you? Good. That's awesome. I saw 2, so I'm going to say that's 100% of you. So look at all these hands. Though.
Just a little slower on Zoom to react.
Okay, here's the other question. How many of you feel like you've mastered this book? Put your hand up. Why is everybody's hand going down?
I feel like every time I read it, I learn something new that's right for the business of now. The market.
Well, guess what?
Now.
Guess what? We are having an MREA series. We're diving deep into all of this book, this entire book, starting tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, 2 p.m., join myself and another guest, including Brooke and a bunch of other leaders that are going to be diving deep into this book with you I think it's about 3 times a week. Cassie's going to drop the information. But Brooke, do you know how much this course cost to take?
Oh, it's thousands of nothing. It's free 99. Free.
It is free. It is free 99. No, it's not even a 99 include. It's free to come on and learn about this. Even if you've read it 10 times, I promise you it'll be worth coming on with us for the MREA series. So please do. Okay, so that's
I gave Cassie the giggles with that one today. She's in my video, so I can see her giggling over our
free 99.
Free 99. I really appreciate that on this one day. Jen, so can you tell us what's the difference between MREA and MREI?
Oh, you mean this one right here?
The letter
we all have at our fingertips.
It's blue.
So the difference between the red and the blue, this one is for real estate agent, and this one is for the investor. So if you, and you know what, Cassie, you just led me into the best thing ever, which is what we're giving away today. We are giving away the Millionaire Real Estate Investor course.
Yeah.
This is a course that we're having. How much is the ticket for that? You actually do have to pay for a ticket for that. How much is that ticket?
Ooh.
Well, that
Like
ticket
$99. $99.
I think it's 70. We have 2 options, Jen. So we first have a digital option, and then we also have an in-person option. So if you're ready to be back in person with us, which I know myself, Jen, Brooke, we have been in person the past couple of months. We are loving it. If you're ready to be back in person with us, you can come. I believe we're in Plainville, Mass for that. And then there is also a digital version if you're unable to make the drive down or aren't ready to be in person
Wait,
yet.
are you saying we're giving the winner an option to do in person or digital?
Yes.
Awesome. Wow, that's big. That's big. Okay, because the cost is different for in person versus digital. So, okay, we're giving away a ticket to MREI. We want to know if you're going digital or in person. It's in Plainville, Mass. And who is our winner? You got to be on to win.
Got to be on.
All right. So if you are not our winner, the link is in the chat and you can sign up. But our winner is actually out of the Market Center that we're hosting it at, KW Elite. Michelle Clinch, are you on the call?
Michelle, are you here? Unmute yourself if you're able.
Hi, yes, I'm on. I'm right here.
Welcome,
Hi.
Michelle, and congratulations. Are you going to be able to attend the class in person?
In person, that's my Market Center, right?
Yes. All right. Well, you've got to see, it's limited seating in person. So congratulations. I'm so glad you're able to win this ticket. And tell us, how many calls have you been on with us?
I've probably been on 10 calls.
Oh, we love the support. Thank you so much. And are you using the content?
Yes,
Great.
Yes,
How's the
it's
feedback
great.
on it?
I think it's great. It's easy to use and it's right there for us to just apply it to our own system.
Great. Well, maybe
Wonderful.
we'll love to talk to you after the call and maybe bring you on as a guest one time to see how that is working in your business. So thank you so much for being here and being a winner. Cassie will be reaching out to give you the details of the ticket.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Happy Monday. We're a minute over, so we got to run. We got to go. Bye guys.
Bye, guys.